going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Thursday. That's right, one step closer to the weekend. Hope you had an amazing holiday. A little bit of a crazy week, definitely for the crypto YouTubers specifically, but also for the price action. Got a little bit boring over Christmas, but we did have a nice little bounce this morning. We tried to get above the $7,300 level. Currently, at the time of making this video, we are being rejected right here. You can see we did pull back to about $7,273. Good news is we did sort of break out of this downwards channel that we were in, right? So I am going to talk about that moving forward, guys. So breaking news, guys, I literally go to upload this video, and right before I push publish, I get confirmation from my fellow crypto YouTube creators that their strikes have in fact been lifted, and YouTube admits that they essentially made a mistake. So that's basically the situation, guys. Now, I do have an entire video planned for you after this, so definitely check it out. Lots of stuff to talk about, but guys, this is amazing news, and I look forward to seeing all of our favorite crypto YouTube personalities, hopefully, putting out videos today. So back to the regular video, guys. I do have a few things we need to go over. We really haven't gone over a lot of news in the past 2 days. We've had all of the stuff going on with the crypto YouTube purge ban, all these different creators getting strikes. I do want to give you guys an update on that, but I also want to talk about, basically moving forward into 2020. I want to talk about the Bitcoin halving. Is it priced in? Is futures just going to absolutely destroy the market? We also have a little bit of Ethereum actually FUD, but also someone predicting that it could go to $10,000 per ETH at the top of the next bull run. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I do have one bit of adoption news at the end of the video, and if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, if you are not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, we do this every single day. And also, guys, I have a special giveaway for the rest of this week. If you guys want, I'm going to be giving away a double Ledger X with a Ledger Nano S. You guys can see it's sealed together in a pack. So I'm going to be giving this away for this week. So if you guys want the Ledger, next week, Monday, we'll be giving away this double pack. Okay, so if you're the winner, you're going to get both of these. So figured, I know, guys, it's been a little bit crazy in crypto. So that being said, guys, let's dive in. Let's have a look. Let's give it a quick refresh live. Bitcoin dominance still around 68.8%. Now, interestingly enough, if I actually switch this to the Bitcoin comparative, you'll notice that there are a lot of coins that are actually outperforming Bitcoin today by small margins. But for example, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin by about, 0.68%. So we're going to have a look at that. But we do have some gainers today. Tomo Chain still on a tear. Ethereum, Eidos, Kunin, not too sure what that is. Decentraland, Cosmos, MadeSafe, Swipe, Bitcoin, IOTA, Icon, and Waves all doing quite well today. Not gonna lie though, volume very, very, very low. Still, I would like to see a little bit more in the market, but is to be expected, right? We just got off a holiday. Plus, let's be honest, market sentiment isn't exactly that great right now. Good news is we are finally back above the VPVR. You can see that's currently sitting at around $7,194 right here. So we did get above that, whereas we were sort of being held up underneath it, which is kind of good, right? Now, you do notice we were stomped out by the top of this resistance right here, guys. Now, we were saying this could have potentially been a bull trap. You can see right here at the time of making this video, we are being stomped out. So currently we did get above the heart line. Getting above 7,376 is still our short-term level to beat. But having a look over here, it looks like we may have actually closed the CME futures gap right here. Now, keep in mind, this was with a wick. It wasn't with a solid candle, but for now, you got to take what you can get, right? And currently, it does look like the gap did essentially get filled, but I still have my eyes on the $7,520 level because that is essentially where we keep closing on these, weekly candles, and we just can't seem to get above it. Obviously, falling below the $7,000 level, especially the $6,900 level, because that was sort of the close and open that we had leading from November 18th into November 25th. Well, then that would not be great for Bitcoin short term. However, I do want to talk about the halving. I want to discuss whether or not it's actually priced in. And you can see right here, obviously, every time Bitcoin has the halving, it does basically start the rally. Not exactly, but it sort of builds up into it, right? So I want to discuss that. But one interesting thing before we move on that, I like to look at is not so much the highs and not so much even the lows are great to look at, but I like what, for example, Digitalic.net did over here. Basically, he just said, take the average of like the three eras, right? Essentially, like you have the first, the second, the third era of Bitcoin. And you can see right here, obviously we did have a Bitcoin that hit $19,000, but in the beginning it was 513 in that era. So really, if you look at the average price of Bitcoin over these three major eras, you're looking at a $2.80 80-cent Bitcoin, a $345 Bitcoin, and then the average of the current period that we're in right now, which is a $5,514 Bitcoin. So once again, I don't see what's wrong with those numbers, guys. I mean, yes, we're not at 20K, but you can see that Bitcoin does over time, even with just its average price, increase. So that is something definitely to note moving forward. Now, talking about the halving event, you had Matty Greenspan. He actually says that, in his opinion, the upcoming halving is not priced in. He says, my best guess around the bearish action is the second half of 2019 is due to an ongoing war among crypto miners, right? So this is interesting. There's been a round of new technology coming out in the last few months that makes the old mining rigs obsolete. Therefore, the Bitcoin miners that were stashing their Bitcoin in the bull run have now sold some off in order to upgrade their equipment. And we actually can verify this. I've spoken to some miners that have chosen to, potentially for the short term, maybe turn off their mining equipment, for example, or have to sell in order to keep the businesses afloat, right? But that's not even the big concern. I think one of the biggest concerns I've heard a lot of people talk about is futures, right? CME futures, backed futures, even these different, trading platforms, right? So you can see CSO of CoinShares, Meltem Demirors, you might be familiar with her. She said that there's a very real possibility that the price of Bitcoin does not go up after the halving. And she says for the first time because of a robust derivatives, futures, options market for Bitcoin, right? We see this with even Deribit. We're seeing options come out from backed, cash settled futures, which basically is not that great for Bitcoin. So essentially most firms look to speculate on Bitcoin will trade derivatives, not the actual underlying asset. Now we do have proof in history of what the introduction of these futures have done. For example, you could see gold futures. Conveniently, look what happened right after the introduction, right? Silver's futures, conveniently, look what happened right after the introduction. And I don't have to tell you what happened with Bitcoin. Clearly, we introduced that at the all-time high, and well, they tamed the beast, as they said, right? But according to Plan B, you may be familiar with him. He is basically the originator of the stock-to-flow model on Twitter. It's been basically all over the news. It's been on CNBC. He says that he does not see a threat to Bitcoin as far as futures are concerned. He says Bitcoin's nature means that it cannot suffer similar problems due to precious metals when it comes to trader speculation. He says central banks can sell large amounts with unlimited fiat money, pushing future prices below spot or backwardization, but spot markets will not follow all the way because they run out of sellers. Unlike gold, supply is inelastic, right? And actually, interestingly enough, we have seen a demand for real physical gold recently, right? That was one of the things we talked about on the episode with Nuggets News, is that actually physical gold is becoming, highly in demand again, rather than just, speculating on it. And he does think that eventually that would be the case for Bitcoin once they do eventually get this whole robust ecosystem sort of figured out. But clearly, we have a lot of skeptics still. Mark Cuban is one of them, right? He'd rather own bananas than Bitcoin. Now, he did come out and admit that he owns, I think it's like around $600 worth of Bitcoin or something like that. But Pompliano said essentially, what information would make you change your mind on Bitcoin? Because I'm not just looking at this as Mark Cuban. I sort of take Mark Cuban as everybody, right? He's the average person out in the world who just very skeptical against Bitcoin, which is the majority of people that you meet. Well, he goes on to say there's always a counter to every argument. It's easy to promote what you want and hope a product or service or commodity, or in this case, protocol, can do and will do, but he says, what changes my mind is when it actually has the impact it was projected to have, everything else is purely academic. Well, I would actually like to say that it already does have the impact that it's supposed to have. Just because the whole world isn't using it doesn't mean that Bitcoin isn't doing what it set out to do. In fact, just having a look right here, 4 properties of Bitcoin, obviously it has a limited cap, a 21 million, supply, which is easily divisible. Well, it does that perfectly fine. It is durable. It's virtually indestructible. I mean, it lives on the internet, right? It is spendable. Obviously, some people complain it takes too long, 7 to 10 minute blocks. Okay, but don't forget they are developing things like Lightning Network. We've seen what they're doing potentially with privacy for Snowball, okay? And yes, it is secure, whether or not you want to admit it. It is the most secure blockchain on planet Earth. It is definitely censorship resistant. You can send it across any borders. It circumvents any sanctions. Not saying that I'm saying you should use it for that, but it does, okay? So I do think the protocol is working perfectly fine. I just don't think that we actually have made it easy enough for the average person to use. And I do think in 2020, we need to focus on usability, right? Divisibility, durability, spendability, secure, fine. But what about, the actual ability to use it like easily. Okay, so we definitely need to start developing some more user-friendly apps, but not surprising, one person who thinks that Bitcoin is never going to see $100,000, in fact, he doesn't think it's even going to see 20,000, is of course fake Toshi himself, Craig Wright. Yeah, I mean, obviously he says if it goes up that high in value, he says then somebody's going to jail, although most likely the only one who's going to jail, well, you know who that probably is. But that being said, guys, you can see, like Welson says, nearly half of millennials say that they're likely to buy Bitcoin. Why? Stocks and real estates are at all-time high and interest rates are at all-time low. There's about 250 trillion in global debt that the last generation dined and dashed on. Bitcoin is the generation's way to get ahead. And honestly, like, why would anybody want to be buying in at the all-time highs? I'm actually going to retweet this tweet. I like this tweet. That was a good one. Moving on, but I do want to talk about something kind of interesting, funny. Let's not, get too serious. But so do you guys remember the bet that Mike Novogratz made with Nouriel Roubini essentially at the SALT conference in 2017? Basically, he said that if Bitcoin was above $6,000 by Christmas, that Nouriel would have to wear a t-shirt that said, "I love Bitcoin." And if he was, wrong, then he would have wore a shirt that said Nouriel was right. Well, obviously, we know that Bitcoin is over $6,000 because Christmas was yesterday, right? But essentially, Nouriel never actually officially agreed to this, so it looks like he's not wearing the shirt. Although Mike Novogratz was a little bit upset. He said that even though we were above the $6,000 level, he was hoping that we'd be a little bit higher. In fact, he still got his eyes on the $10,000 level. But $10,000, forget about that, guys. We're talking about $10,000 Ethereum, potentially by the next bull run. This is from Bitcoin Macro, and you can see right here, he says, plebs in the comments think a 7x from ETH's all-time high is impossible to achieve. That's why I'm rich and they're poor. Shaking my head. Well, that's one way to put it, but you can see right here, some people don't think that's the case. For example, Crypto Crow, he says he believes that all of the best, not to say that price won't go up, but he thinks that as far as the, protocol itself, a lot of dApps will move over to Cardano essentially when, everything is up and running. Let me know what you guys think about that. I have seen some people say that Cardano could be the ETH killer, right? But getting off topic, talking about what is going on, you can see 204,530 ETH have been sent to exchanges, okay? So this is roughly around $25 million, give or take, worth of Ethereum. And you can see some people right here are speculating that this is maybe Vitalik selling, Ethereum, possibly, right? Now, I do want to point out that Whale Panda had mentioned, and like, I'm not taking a jab at ETH or anything like that. I'm just bringing you guys the news. But you can see right here, he says it's really that simple. Skin in the game, Elon Musk. If Tesla and SpaceX go bankrupt, so will I, as it should be. And then he used Tor Demestier as an example. Ethereum founder has sold 25% of his ETH position so far. No skin in the game. So, I'm not trying to say, what the situation is going on, but there has been some FUD. There's also been some FUD over the fact that, the Plus token guys also have some Ethereum. But the interesting thing is, having a look, Ethereum's actually up over Bitcoin today. It's actually up 1%, 1.03%. Actually, Ethereum is up 2%. So looks like the FUD's not working because Ethereum is actually up over Bitcoin today. But I just wanted to kind of bring that out to you guys, what people were saying. But once again, I know we've been talking about this for 3 days straight. But I mean, guys, it's been like freaking crickets around here. Like, where's all the YouTube content, right? Well, the reality is most of these guys can't make content. They can't put videos out. Now, I think one of the things we need to talk about is the fact that there are a lot of scams on YouTube. For example, there was this scam right here that was stealing money. They were claiming to be the Litecoin Foundation. They stole 309 Litecoin from users. Now, the good news is finally this video got pulled. This was the scam Binance video that was going on for like 2 days straight. Now, the thing that I like about this is that the community spoke up. Maybe this guy got scared. Whoever was behind it, they pulled the video. What I don't like about it is that it says that the video has been removed by the user, not by YouTube, which means that YouTube is still not effectively removing the actual scam accounts, and it's most likely targeting the wrong accounts. Like, for example, you could see Team YouTube with over 100 videos removed and 2 strikes in 24 hours. Now, this is from Alex from Nuggets News. I still have not received an email from you. This is really scary. We've hired a new staff. I have a wife and a baby to support. I can't fix the problem if I don't know what I've done or who to communicate with. I mean, these are people with families that are relying on YouTube revenue, as peanut as it is, right, to get by, especially during this holiday time. You can see even Vitalik pointed out, like Christian Peel said, our team has reviewed the content related to a video that was essentially an Ethereum Q&A. And he literally says, censoring an Ethereum roadmap Q&A is just weird. Looks like we need an alternative to YouTube, right? And you've had Kim.com coming out. YouTube is cutting off crypto content creators. The US government is behind this. He thinks it is. The war against crypto has begun. US empire won't allow anything to undermine its control of the financial system, including massive surveillance, market manipulation via money printing, and sanctions. We need to fight back. And guys, I'll retweet this live. To basically what Cointelegraph, they still haven't responded to me to the disclaimer that says YouTube later responded that the cryptocurrency related content was taken down by accident. Not sure what they're talking about. Everyone I know still has their strikes. Nothing has been reversed, but we did do a YouTube poll yesterday in yesterday's video, and it does seem like the majority of you, 44%, think that it's actually a group that's flagging videos and it's not YouTube censoring the creators. So that is a bit of a conspiracy, right? But one article I just wanted to refer back to, and by the way, thanks Mike for pointing out this video from the Crypto Zombies Telegram. Now this came out a while ago. This is not a new article. You could see this actually came out last year in April of 2018, but they say AI is now YouTube's biggest weapon against the spread of offensive videos. So you can see that they removed more than 8 million videos during the last quarter of 2017, but the interesting thing is that 83% of them were done basically with machine learning or AI, right? So they say that the use of machine learning does raise some serious questions about content being taken down. You know, like for example, should it stay up? Should it stay down? Well, this isn't a human deciding this. This is, excuse me guys, this is AI. This is a machine, right? You can see they had several news organizations such as Middle East Eye and Bellingcat. They found that last year YouTube was taking down their videos depicting war crimes in Syria, but they were just reporting on it, right? All they were doing was just saying this is what's happening. They weren't like promoting, war or anything like that. So they also say with the massive volume of videos on their site, sometimes they do make wrong calls. When it's brought to their attention that a video or channel has been removed, mistakenly, YouTube says that they do act quickly to reinstate it. Now, YouTube, it's been about 3 days. We're going on our 4th day now. These YouTubers have not, they've not had a response. They've been left in the dark, guys. So, I think that they do need to, basically say what's going on. And one speculation could be the fact that, you do have those scams running, like those Binance scams, Litecoin Foundation scams, and maybe the AI is confusing legitimate crypto channels with the scam crypto channels. It could be a possibility, right? So that's basically the update on that moving forward, but I don't want to end on all doom and gloom, guys. We have one bit of good news, and that's coming from Rakuten, which is known as the Amazon of Japan. They basically announced a new service to boost mainstream adoption of crypto. Essentially, their wallet, which is a cryptocurrency exchange launched in April, now allows users to convert their loyalty points into cryptocurrencies. So anybody that has these loyalty points sitting in their wallet, you can now convert it into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin Cash. So that's pretty cool, right? According to their announcement, they say through the launch of this service, they hope to reduce the barrier of entry for crypto. So you got to think about it, right? If you're using your Rakuten wallet, whatever it is, and you're getting these points, right? It doesn't take much effort on your end. You don't have to go to your bank. You don't have to make a transaction. You just get these points and then you can convert it into crypto, and now you've actually gained exposure to cryptocurrency. So it's kind of cool, right? It's a much simpler way to basically reduce that friction for these new guys getting access to cryptocurrency. And before we go, I just wanted to kind of drop this article. I'm not going to go through it all, but it was 101 of the most stupidest moments in 2019. Let's see. They have the first blockchain based non-fungible girlfriend that was born. What else do they have in here? They have a outraged Bitcoin mob vilifies a baby. The Quadriga CX scandal. That was crazy. Blockchain for babies. That was an interesting one. Fake it till you make it. Chinese startup that raised 20 million during an ICO. Had a fake website. But yeah, if you guys are interested, we all remember what happened with this one, with the Calvin Air incident. So yeah, have a look at that, guys, the Tesla incident from Tron. And before we go, I just wanted to take a little bit of a stroll down memory lane. And this is from Michael Hendricks. This came out February 25th of 2011. This has been floating around the Reddits recently. And this is a video he put out showing you how you can buy Domino's pizza using Bitcoin. And yes, guys, you can see he bought an $18 gift card, and he paid 19.12 Bitcoin. It appears that Bitcoin was worth around 96 cents at the time of this transaction. So roughly by today's standard, I think he spent somewhere around 40 $42,000, $45,000 for a pizza. I could be wrong on that calculation. But that being said, guys, that is it for me today. If you do want the Ultimate Ledger Duo, drop a comment. By the way, any video makes you eligible, even if you want to go back and comment on an older video throughout the week. But guys, that is it for me today. Obviously, the situation with YouTube is continuing. I really think it's time that we get an answer, because the guys who are being punished are not the scammers. They're not the ones that should be losing access to their channel, losing rights for uploading. It's obviously these other guys doing these nefarious, ETH giveaways or donate to the Bitcoin here, right? So there is still a lot of cleaning up to do. It is going to be difficult for these platforms moving forward in the future, but that is it for me today, guys. It is Thursday. This video is about, 20 minutes long by now. That's about the length that we can pretty much put this video to rest. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day, and I am very grateful that I have not received a strike yet, right? But that could all change tomorrow. I hope it doesn't. But guys, I love you. You're the reason that I do this every single day. Don't forget to follow all of your other favorite crypto YouTubers on their Twitter accounts, on their decentralized video posting accounts, okay? You don't want to lose, access to this in case something does happen. And once again, if you guys are interested, definitely follow me on Twitter. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time. Actually, I didn't even check the price. Hold on. Oh my goodness, we're pumping. Look at that, guys. Look at that pump. Wow. Okay, well, we did get above the $7,300 level. Well, there we go, guys. That's the day after Christmas for you. Welcome back to Bitcoin and crypto. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you again tomorrow.